Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We have here in the store with us Holger Stein. Holger is the founder of Stein Music, the company that designs a variety of different products. They design some of the best record mats. Michael Framer is a big fan of their record mats, and there's a number of people that have reviewed their some of their tweaks, some of the devices and harmonizers. But one thing that Stein always does, and we don't see it much here in the United States, but if you go to Munich, Germany, and you go to the big hi-fi show, Stein Music will have one of the best rooms there every year, guaranteed, and they always show their horn speakers. So Holger has traveled all the way from Germany, and he has brought with us the model. I believe it's the Bobby S. Is that
Really?
correct?
They are the
And
smallest ones we
it's the
produce.
smallest speaker, and it does have a horn-based tweeter. We've been listening here this afternoon, and we are just completely blown away. This is a fantastic speaker. It's a bit of a makeshift setup here, as we're using some Tone Traeger stands. And but I'm going to let Holger talk a little bit about this speaker.
So these are the smallest speakers we produce.
Uh huh.
This is a vented box, not as the bigger ones we are using, which are combinations of horn and open baffle. Um, are using horns not because of getting a better efficiency. We're using horns to get a better transient response. We want a smooth, very detailed sound, and transient response is one key feature for that.
Right.
Those speakers here are completely made in our company in Mülheim, Germany.
Mhm.
So we have all machines for that, big milling machines and stuff like this. And the housings are made out of plywood, which we are lacquering inside and outside with a special lacquer to not reduce resonances, but to bring them to a point where they are not able to get listened to anymore.
So you're essentially tuning the cabinet so it's very pleasing to hear. Rather than trying to dampen it like a lot of companies do, you're tuning it and working with the natural materials.
My personal experience is when you are going to dampen resonances, you also dampen the energy of the sound you would like to get.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about the tweeter. It's your own, it's your design, and it's quite unique. It does not have any what I'll call traditional horn colorations. If you didn't look at it and know that it was a horn tweeter, you wouldn't know because it doesn't have the sort of honky mouth, making like a trumpet, kind of sound. It doesn't make everything sound like a horn. It doesn't have any horn sound whatsoever.
This is the idea.
Right.
Because I don't like horn sound,
Right.
the classical one, but I like a horn to get better transient response.
And then
So
go ahead.
we are not using compression drivers at all in no of our constructions. This is a 1-inch soft dome fabric driver we are using in here. Everything is in detail, how to say, adapt to our ideas and made the way that it sounds coherent. For example, we have two speakers, two-way speakers, but I don't want to listen to a tweeter and a bass. I want to listen to music.
Right.
So I need to adapt both that way that we have the idea of a one-point source.
They're very coherent. There was no sign that you were listening to a horn tweeter with a woofer. It was very, very coherent when we were listening. Talk a little bit about the shape of the cabinet. It's kind of hard to see on video, but it tapers to the back. So it's a little bit narrower at the front and wider at the back, and your reason for doing that.
This also has clear acoustical reasons. First of all, we don't have parallel walls here, which is good regarding standing waves. Also, this is something which is not so easy to explain in technical terms, but we found if we open it up to the back, the sound becomes more substantial.
Interesting.
which is hard to measure, but easy to hear.
Talk a little bit about the crossover inside. I know that you're not using, off-the-shelf parts. A lot of it is custom, so maybe you can touch on that.
No, not most of it is custom.
Most of it, okay. Most of it's
Only
custom.
the resistors we are using in here, which we sometimes need.
Okay.
They are Beischlag,
Uh-huh.
very fine stuff, which we like.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is completely done in our house. So the coils, for example, the formers are made out of wood,
Uh-huh.
which we again treat with our lacquer.
Uh-huh.
The wire inside is also made by us. So
Mhm.
there are, for the coil, there are 6 wires around,
Uh-huh.
and 16 inside as one wire, resulting wire finally.
Okay.
The capacitors are also made in-house.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to make a speaker without compromise,
Mm-hmm.
and so we have been taking care for every detail.
Excellent.
The crossover is mounted on a board,
Mm-hmm.
which is also in between two wood pieces of wood,
Mm-hmm.
boards of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So also this is mechanically not damped, but brought to the right resonance.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, we're really enjoying listening to them, and thanks for bringing them for us to hear, and safe travels
You're
back
welcome, and I
home.
appreciate your liking.
All right. Thank you, everybody.